Get ready for your favorite news show with Anchor Dude and Sports Dude, along with Weather Dude, bringing you news that's not so bad, it's Not So Bad Newz. And here's your host, Anchor Dude.
Well, hello and welcome on this not so bad day. I'm your host, Anchor Dude, and this is Not So Bad Newz, the news network that wants you to know it's not so bad.
It's not so bad.
Our first story is about a science throwback to the 50s. Stellarators, which are a type of magnetic confinement fusion reactor, use a twisted donut-shaped torus of magnets to contain the plasma where the fusion actually occurs. This technology dates back to the 1950s, but has mostly been replaced by the more popular and simpler tokamaks, which use a symmetrical donut-shaped torus with an electrical current in the plasma. Stellarators do, however, have some advantages over the tokamaks, such as being able to operate continuously without disruptions, more flexibility in the shaping of the plasma, and avoiding the need for a central solenoid or donut hole that limits the size of the tokamaks. Which is why startup Type 1 Energy received $29 million to develop its own design with some unique engineering improvements to capitalize on these advantages. Up next, a quick look at the weather. Well, hello friends, and thanks for joining me on this not so bad day. I'm your host, Weather Dude, and this is the weather. I'm gonna list the colors we're using before we start painting, so feel free to join me. Also, if you want, go ahead and comment your favorite color. I'd love to read them. There's so many. My favorite color is orange. As you can see, it's a not so bad day. Get out there and play. A little bit of rain. We got this low pressure system battling off a few high pressure systems. So you might see some fluctuations right in the middle of the US, but perfect weather. So make sure to get out there, take advantage of all the beautiful colors that you see, and use them to paint your own picture. And always remember, dress for the weather you want, not the weather you have. This is Weather Dude. Wishing y'all a great day. Could we finally have found the long-lost temple of Cleopatra and Mark Antony? A massive discovery of a tunnel hidden beneath a temple in Taposiris Magna, an ancient city on the Egyptian coast. And this was found while searching for the long-lost tomb of Cleopatra VII. The tunnel is 43 feet below ground and 6.5 feet tall, stretching for roughly 4,000 feet through sandstone bedrock. This tunnel design is very similar to the tunnel of Euphalenos, a 6th century aqueduct on the Greek island of Samos, with almost identical engineering. This temple is believed to be dedicated to the god Osiris and his queen Isis, which Cleopatra often associated herself with during her final years as the ruler of the Ptolemaic dynasty. Part of this tunnel is submerged, however, by the Mediterranean Sea after a series of earthquakes between 320 and 1303 current era, so a submarine is really needed to further any more research. While we are still unsure whether or not this will be the biggest discovery of the 21st century, I know I'm ready to dive in and find out. And now for a quick commercial break.
Stone Age dogs got a meaty teeth cleaning bone every day, but over time, bones lost the meat. Meaty Bone brings meat back to the bone.
Our next story is about sharks holding their breath. A group of hammerhead sharks was found diving to depths which would normally be deadly for the animal, so researchers had to find out what was going on. A study of the species, known as the scalloped hammerheads, which are known for swimming in warm coastal waters, have recently been found to dive more than 2,600 feet, where the water gets as low as 5 degrees Celsius. Normally, these temperatures would cause the shark's blood to freeze and send it into shock. But researchers noticed these sharks have an interesting way of preventing this. By closing their gills and effectively holding their breath, the sharks keep the water out so they can conserve their body heat. And by hooking up these sharks with the latest shark Fitbits, we're actually able to monitor the vitals and see what happens when they dive to the bottom for minutes at a time. Now, researchers imagine that they're down there searching for food that is otherwise unreachable and then do a steep climb back to the surface. But notice no real difference in the shark's body temperature, which means, I don't know exactly, but sharks are cool. And now, let's take a look at sports. What's up? Welcome to Sports Dude, and oh, look at that. No one cares. Let's get to the bloopers. Our final, not so bad story, plans for a new space station that will orbit our moon are already underway. This space station is called the Gateway and will actually act as a gateway for future lunar and Mars missions. The Gateway is a collaboration between NASA, the ESA, JAXA, CSA, and Roscosmos, and is expected to be up and running by the late 2020s. The plan for the Gateway is much smaller than the original space station, with only a few modules and a crew of 4, and will also have a unique orbit so it can continuously be in contact with Earth. The main purpose of the Gateway is to support scientific research and exploration of the moon, as well as test systems for future missions to Mars. This is also a key component of the Artemis program, which aims to land the next man and woman on the moon in 2024 and help establish a sustainable human presence by 2030. That does it for us here at Not So Bad Newz. I'm your host, Anchor Dude, wishing you a not so bad day.